They dug a drain pit beside my orchard, so I forced a full environmental review. I own a small orchard on the east side of Willow Bend, land my family's held since the late 1980s. Not a commercial farm, not a hobby garden, a working orchard. Apples, pears, and a narrow strip of heirloom trees I'd been restoring for years. The soil there is sensitive. One wrong change and it doesn't scream. It fails silently, which is exactly why they chose that spot. The neighboring parcel had just been sold to a waste management subcontractor. Officially, they were upgrading drainage. Nothing alarming on paper. No construction signs, no fence crossing, just a pit, 10 feet from my tree line. At first, nothing looked wrong, but 3 weeks later, something strange happened. My bees stopped coming. Not disappeared, rerouted. They hovered, hesitated, then drifted away. Then the leaves dulled, not wilted, muted. And then one morning, I noticed the smell. Metallic, wet, wrong. I followed the slope downhill and saw it. The drain pit wasn't just collecting runoff, it was leaching. Water from their site was seeping under the soil line, carrying residue straight toward my orchard's root zone. I called the state pollinator registry. My orchard was listed, not as protected land, but as a documented pollination zone used in a regional bee migration study. That status doesn't stop construction. It triggers mandatory reporting if pollinator behavior changes, and it had. Within a week, the registry flagged my orchard as migration disrupted. That single tag set off a chain reaction. Not inspectors, researchers, environmental analysts, university soil specialists, people who don't argue. They measure. They took samples, water tables, root zones, runoff gradients. Their conclusion landed like a hammer. The drain pit was illegally deep, improperly lined, and redirecting contaminated runoff into an active agricultural ecosystem. Still, no court yet. Then the buyers backed out. A regional distributor canceled a contract after receiving the contamination notice tied to my orchard's GPS coordinates. That's when the company panicked. They tried to fix the pit overnight, which made it worse, because altering an active runoff structure during an environmental flag is a separate violation. That's when the state stepped in, not the county, the Environmental Review Board. They froze the entire parcel, my neighbor's land, under an emergency impact review. Construction halted, permits suspended, drain pit sealed. And in the hearing, the board didn't ask why the pit existed. They asked one question: why was agricultural impact not disclosed? There was no answer. Because once a pollination zone is disrupted, intent doesn't matter. Effect does. The ruling required full environmental impact assessment, soil remediation under independent supervision, removal and reconstruction of the drain system, long-term monitoring of groundwater flow, and compensation for ecological disruption. The pit was filled, the slope regraded, the runoff rerouted legally, far from my orchard. 6 months later, the bees came back, not all at once, but enough, and the orchard recovered, slowly, which felt fitting. If your land supported something invisible but essential, would you protect it the same way? Type "rooted" in the comments. Like and subscribe for more stories.